Hi guys, my name's Misty. I'm here for Digital Ritual. Today we're going to be going through about a 40-minute yoga practice. So it'll include a little bit of physical movement, a little bit of pranayama at the end, and also a little bit of sitting if you'd like to sit in meditation at the end. All you need for today's practice is if you have some blocks, some yoga blocks, you can grab some of those and either a blanket or a towel. If you don't have yoga blocks, something I like to use at home if I don't have my blocks handy is some books, so you can grab them. Otherwise, you can make do without them, so don't worry too much. So we're going to get right into it today. Today's practice is really a practice for spring. So spring, you really want to jump up and get into it. It's also associated with the organ of the liver. And you access the liver through a back bend. So we'll do a little bit of back bending, nothing too crazy, but yet be prepared to get nice and warm. So when you're ready, let's come to our first downward facing dog. And just for the purpose of today's practice, come to downward facing dog to begin in the exact way you would without it being formal. So you might want to draw your heels down, you might find that your dog is shorter than normal, you might feel that you want to look back at your feet. So find your downward facing dog with none of its formality and really take stock of what that feels like. So you want to use this practice to really take stock of your own personal news system. So if you think about withdrawing from the outer news of the outer world and now bringing your attention to your inner environment, use your breath to really access what is going on for you. So set your dog up however you like, and then eventually we'll make it nice and formal to give you a different experience. So good. And so when you come forward to a plank, now come forward to a plank, unfold it. What you want to do is give yourself a measure. And when you give yourself measure, then you let go of any personal patterns, any personal habits, any foibles that you, or injuries that you feel you might be carrying, and then you really allow this practice to inform you. So you want the balls of your feet underneath your heels, and you want hip width distance. So you can just drop one heel into the arch of your other foot, and that will give you the width of your hips. And then turn your middle fingers into touch. This should already be creating a fair bit of heat so that you find the width of your shoulders, and then really bring your shoulders over your wrist joints. Look forward, so good. And then from here, now lift your hips, find downward facing dog. Put a soft bend through your knees, send your lungs towards your thighs, and really lift your heels up so that the pinnacle of this pose is your two sit bones and your perineum. And then you can unfold it, find your plank again, and then travel back to dog. And just fold and unfold, coming forward and heading back. And what you really want to do is take stock of where you're working, so where you're working a lot and where you're not working a lot. So if you can feel this really firing your legs up, then that's great, but shift some of your awareness into your shoulders, into your arms, into your hands. And if you really feel this in your arms and your shoulders, then now bring your awareness down into your feet and your legs and your pelvis so that you can really find the plug of your feet. So good. Forward and back, and forward and back. And then just find downward facing dog again. Hand, hand, foot, foot. And then just count yourself 5 breaths here, knowing that your 5 breaths are really filling up the container for your downward facing dog. So nice. And once you've counted your 5 breaths, now just come down onto your hands and your knees. So good. So let's set up a tabletop. Bring one block behind the forearm and then one block in front of the thigh bone so that you're setting yourself up at a set of right angles, because what you really want to do is put yourself right in the middle of your wrist joints and your knee joints. When you set yourself up at right angles, you keep your joints nice and safe. And then spin your middle fingers into touch, so measure yourself out. Beautiful. And really find the tops of your feet, plug them down and in. We can all use the sense of keeping our feet on the ground at the moment, so keep your feet nice and plugged in. And then when you're ready, take a deep inhale, look back towards your legs, back towards your pubic bone, and then exhale. Allow the breath to move out, collarbones move east to west, take your vision up. And then inhale, lift up, and then exhale, shift out. So nice. So quite often we begin here in a class, and that's because in Katonah yoga we use the metaphor of the body as being the house that you live in with 3 floors. So this really, your cat-cows, they use all 3 floors. Feet, legs, pelvis, first floor. From your pelvis to the roof of your mouth, your second floor. And then your third floor is really the realm of your imagination and your vision. And so if you need to whip yourself up today, then speed it up a little bit. Usually at home, you don't want to create too much heat, but it's nice to have a little touch point of heat so that you can really work through and burn up some stuff if you have some things that you want to get rid of. Burn it all up, incinerate all of that old stuff. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath in, fill all the way up. And then exhale and release it back to center. And then flip both palms so that they face back. And then flip them so they face forward. We're not going to stay for too long in the wrists today, but flip them so that they face back so that you can really get the lay of your own land, what's going on. And then just start to make some little circles. So even if you do this quite often, you'll notice that the body, depending on the day, when, in the month sometimes, shows up quite differently. So the purpose of doing the same thing over and over again is so that then you can have some insights into what's going on for yourself on the inside. Because yoga is really about cultivating an inner environment and then having your inner environment eventually affect your outer environment. So go all the way around towards the right, move in a clockwise direction, and then go anti-clockwise, so go towards the left. And the left is really your own personal spin. So what personal spin are you putting on things? And go all the way around to the left. Sometimes it can feel a little against the grain. And just notice what your toes are doing. Find all 10 toes underneath you, plug them down and in, keep that nice micro bend in the elbows. The purpose of this is really to bring your lungs to the front of your body. Lungs are very intelligent. They know what to take in and then what to throw out. And then find center again, look forward, and then swim the right arm forward and the left arm forward. And then from here, I'm just going to tuck my toes and lift back up to a downward facing dog. So second downward facing dog, so now my lungs are really a lot more available. So keep sending your lungs towards your thighs. Keep that soft bend in the knees. And then wrap your outer armpits in. And then unfold it to a plank. And then travel back, dog. And just fold and unfold again. Find a little bit of bounce. And now that you've set this up well, you have lots of formality, you should feel like you can really glide through your joint space. So nice, downward facing dog. And then when you're ready, you can lunge your right foot in between your hands and lunge it to a right angle. Drop the back knee and untuck the back toe. So nice. And then from here, we're going to find a frame with our arms. So really fit the pointy parts of your elbows into the palms of your hands. And then think that you're going to unfold from the crown of your head. So from the crown of your head, find your throat, your sternum, solar plexus, pubis. And so spring is really about rising up. And the only way to rise up is to go deep. So drop down into your depths. And once you have your depths, then you can really push through the soil and push the sprout up towards the ceiling. Lungs are then nice and available, so really make your lungs available and open like your windows. 2 more breaths here. Last one. So good. Bring your hands all the way back down now. And then we're going to bring our right hand to the inner arch. So the heel of the right hand should line up with the heel of the right foot. And a twist comes by virtue of contact. So you really want to get all the way around yourself. So if you want to think about a twist as getting a different perspective, seeing something that you perhaps couldn't see before. Soften your elbows. Beautiful. And then make lots of contact, right shoulder to right knee. Look forward. Bring your left hand to your sacrum and be in your legs. And then from here, once you have your foundations, then you can start to unfold. And once you've unfolded to the left, then you can bring your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then eventually you can draw that top arm in towards the center of the room, wrap that outer armpit in, gazes up in toward that left armpit. And the final piece is really to make it spherical. So find the back bend in the upper back. 2 more breaths. Last one. Beautiful. Unfold that. Reorganize yourself, so give yourself a little minute. And then this time we're going to spin towards the right. So I'm going to take this one from the front. So for those of you at home, you can see it from the front. What you want to do is really find that back foot behind you and then bring your left elbow to the outside of that right thigh and really keep your lungs resting on your thighs. And then left hand becomes the mitt, right hand becomes the ball. You throw the ball into the mitt, find your foundations, and then you can start to revolve and spin. And once you have that, then you can take your vision up and go all the way around. And then once you set this up really well, then you'll notice that the breath just starts coming in on its own. 2 more breaths here. Last one. So nice. Take your gaze down, frame that front foot, and then take your time, step it back, downward facing dog, hand, hand, foot, foot. And then so you can just fold and unfold. At this time, come to an upward facing dog. Wrap your outer armpits in, thighs hover and the toes stay tucked, and really notice what your toes are doing. And then lift up, downward facing dog. So you're finding your full arc, your full back bend now. So really accessing the realm of the liver. Coming forward, collarbones move east to west, take your vision above the horizon, and then travel back, downward facing dog. Lunge your left foot to the front of the mat this time. And lunge it to a right angle. Drop the right knee down, untuck the back toe, so nice. And then from here, what you want to do is hold on to your elbows and then go to the arm you wouldn't have gone for. I just need to be mindful of my microphone here. And then when you're ready, you can unfold it in the same way as you did on the other side. Keep your pelvis nice and organized. So pubic bone looks at 12, tail at 6, right hip at 3, and left hip at 9. Find the back bend from your pubic bone to the crown of your head. Windows are open. Last breath here. Empty it all out. Float your hands back down. This time, flip the left wrist. Left fingertips or left heel of the hand will line up with the heel of the left foot. And then left shoulder and left knee make contact. Look forward. Nice. Bring your right hand to your sacrum and really be down in your legs. So find your stability underneath you. This time you're going to open up towards the right. So by virtue of contact with yourself, your left shoulder on your left knee, then eventually you get to revolve and open up. Keep looking forward for as long as you can. And then eventually you can take your vision up, and then your vision really spins like an owl in a tree. So rather than just squeezing your neck around, you really get to look forward and spin your vision all the way up. And then you can draw that top arm in towards the center of the room and make it spherical. Find the back bend in the upper back here. Nice job. And then you'll find that for 3 breaths. In through the nose and out through the nose. Last one. So nice, guys. Unfold that, come all the way back down. And this time you can spin the other way. So find your right elbow to the outer edge of that left thigh. Lots of contact with your lungs on your thighs. So if you're up here, really make the conscious effort to fit yourself. So bring your lungs on your thighs. Right hand becomes the mitt, left hand becomes the ball. So left elbow really shoots up towards the ceiling. And it's by virtue of contact again that you have the opportunity to go for a spin and go all the way around. So once you have your foundations, then you can open it up towards the left. Look forward in the same way as you did on the other side. Allow your vision to spin like an owl in a tree. Go all the way around so that you can really start to locate your blind spots. 2 more breaths. Last one. So good. Unfold that. Take your vision down. Beautiful work, guys. And then just tuck your back toes and lift back up, downward facing dog. Hand, hand, foot, foot. In the same way as you did before, unfold it to an upward facing dog so that then the front chain of your body, all your juicy potential can really become available again. So nice. Just fold and unfold. And then let's walk our feet to our hands and our hands to our feet. We'll find a forward fold just for a little minute. So measure that you have hip width distance, so 2 fists with your knuckles facing forward. Find your hip width distance, and then in the same way as you did before, really fit yourself. So bring your lungs on your thighs. First, let's do it the way that sometimes you see in class. It's very back, it's very hamstring. But what you want to do in a forward fold is make contact. So your knees fit your armpits, your lungs on your thighs, your palms of your hands fit your elbows, and then you become contained. And then give yourself a little bit of movement, your head a little shake from side to side. And then rock back into your heels and forward into your toes. This is really so you can mediate the moment. Heels is like brakes. It's like pumping your own brakes on. It's being reflective. It's looking back, looking in the rearview mirror. And toes is really potential. It's everything that lies ahead. It's everything that is yet to be. And so what you want to do is really find the center of your foot. How much past you want to bring with you into the future. And then really think about breathing up the backs of the legs, so that when you breathe up the backs of the legs, your 2 sit bones really reach up towards the ceiling and your perineum becomes more available. 3 more breaths here. Really allow your breath to be audible like the ocean, so it soothes your kidneys. Last one. So nice, guys. And then when you're ready, you can walk yourself back out, re-arrive, re-measure yourself, and downward facing dog. And so forward folds are really an opportunity to go inward. So after going inward, sometimes things can bubble up. So what you really want to do is use the formality of this practice to put yourself back together again. Hand, hand, foot, foot. With your imagination, find a cross reference. So your right hand to your left foot, left hand to right foot. X marks the spot right underneath you. And then lunge your right foot in between your hands again. Bend the back knee down, untuck that back toe. You want to lunge the right foot to a right angle, and then bring a block underneath that heel. So nature was very generous when they designed the human body, when she designed the human body, because she created lots of patterns. And when you elevate one arch, all of your arches elevate. So elevate one arch, and this time interlace your hands to the webbing and bring them to the nape of your neck, and really put your imagination down in your feet. And then from here, draw your elbows in, and then we'll find a back bend. So find a rise from your depths all the way up to the crown of your head. And then eventually your sternum, the center of your chest, becomes nice and available here. 3 breaths. Last one. So good. When you're ready, you can unfold that. Take that block away, and then come up onto that back foot, and then turn that back foot down to a 45-degree angle. So following the same pattern as before, but we're going to build on that twist now. Bring the right heel of the right hand and line it up with the heel of the right foot. And you want lots of contact, right shoulder to right knee. And so you'll probably notice that your right butt wants to go out to its own side, so swing your butt towards the left a little more than you actually would have liked. And that will keep your pelvis nice and stable. Look forward, bring your left hand to your sacrum. And by using the contact of right shoulder to right knee, then you can start to open up. So nice. And once your second floor is available, you can take your vision up and then draw that top arm in towards the center of your room, and then wrap that outer armpit in and really make this spherical so that you can find the back bend in any forward fold. So nice. Really set it up so that you can take in 3 of your own breaths, really make them your own and fill this asana up with your own breath. Last 2. And 1. So nice. Unfold it. Stay where you are, and then just walk your toes back to where your heel would have been. Beautiful. And then reorganize your pelvis. You want that foot at a 45-degree angle, and you want your pelvis nice and stable so that your pubic bone looks at 12, tail at 6, right hip at 3 and left hip at 9, and your lungs should sit on your thighs. And then you just want to start to rock forward and back and forward and back. So extending that front leg towards straight. And what you really want to think of here is really picking up that right butt bone. So your right butt really goes back behind you. Beautiful, guys. And then find center. You want to keep a little micro bend in that right knee. And this time you're going to take your left hand across the mat. So your left hand will line up with the blade edge of your right foot. And bring your right hand onto your sacrum. And you don't want to bring your pelvis along for the ride. You want your pelvis to stay plugged in. So eventually then you can start to revolve, open towards the right. Right arm goes up towards the ceiling, so really lift yourself up onto your plumb line and then make it spherical. Draw that top arm in towards the center of the room and then find the back bend. 3 breaths. Last one. Beautiful. Unfold that, good job. It's a hard work to be here. Frame that front foot and then just step it straight back to downward facing dog. Pedal out through the feet and then unfold it, find your up dog. Remeasure yourself and then lift the hips, downward facing dog. When you're ready, lunge your left foot in between your hands. Lower that back knee and untuck that back toe. Bring a block underneath. Beautiful. You elevate one arch, they all elevate. Bring your hands, interlace them to the webbing, and then draw your elbows in and down. Hold your mind well. Find the imagination in that back foot. Plug it in, and then unfold from the crown of your head so that you can really make your back bend nice and available. And you'll notice that once you set up the conditions, you set up the frame, you set up the structure, the breath just floods in. So 2 more breaths here. Last one. So good. Float those hands all the way back down. You might find that you're a little wobbly on one side compared to the other. Know that that's completely normal. Life happens differently to both sides of the body. And so if you start to think about your body as being like the tapestry that tells the story of your life, you really want to get up close and personal with every little stitch. So now lift the back leg and turn it down to a 45-degree angle. And this time you're going to take the left hand and flip the palm so that the heel of the left hand lines up with the heel of the left foot. So good. Left shoulder and left knee make contact, and you want a nice 90-degree angle here. If your left butt's out over to its own side, really swing it over to the right and look forward. Right hand comes to sacrum. Once you have your anchor, you've dropped your foundations, you're in your legs, then you can start to revolve. Find the spin, see something you couldn't see before. Right arm goes up towards the ceiling. And then eventually you can make it spherical. Draw that top arm in towards the center of the room. Gaze up into that right armpit. So nice. And find the back bend and the upper back. 3 breaths here. Last one. So nice. Unfold it. Frame that front foot, and then just give yourself a minute to reorganize. Bring the toes back to where your heel of your left foot would have been, and make sure that you have that foot still turned down to a 45-degree angle. And you don't want to be doing these on a tight rope, so if you have a little more room for your pelvis, you can just walk your toes and your feet a little bit wider. So nice. And then from here, what you want to do is start extending that front leg towards straight. So just rocking backwards and forwards. And what is a really nice boundary here is to make sure that you maintain that connection of your lungs on your thighs. And just notice if you have the tendency to look back here, it's really hard to be in your legs like this. This is a lot of leg work. So good. Forward and back. And the next time you come back, extend through that front leg. Keep a little micro bend in that knee. Take your right hand to the outer edge, the blade edge of the left foot, and then soften your elbows so that you make a lot of contact with that shin. Look forward. And then from here, once you have your foundations, then you can start to go all the way around yourself. Really allow your pelvis to breathe here. You don't want to be squeezing in your pelvis. You want your pelvis to really exist in its own space. So keep it nice and organized, and then draw that top arm in towards the center of the room. Really make this a spherical experience. Last breath here. So nice. Unfold that, frame that front foot, and then let's all step it back to downward facing dog. So last little push of activity before we come down. Fold and unfold this to an upward facing dog. And then just step your left fingertips back so that the fingertips line up with the heel of the right hand. Find downward facing dog with a twist, right hand crosses the mat. Fill that right hand up with your left heel. And then you can go all the way around yourself. Eventually your right knee bends in towards your right armpit, and you have the opportunity to look beyond your left fingertips. So good. Reorganize yourself, and then just switch sides. Take your left hand across your mat, fill your left hand up with your right heel, and then go all the way around the other way. And just notice if you can't see as much on this side, or perhaps you can see more. And then unfold, so nice. And then feel free to drop down to your knees and just find a little child's pose. Little child's pose is a little moment just to gather yourself back together. And in spring, it's really nice to think of your child's pose as being like a seed. And so a seed is full of potential. It has a blueprint really for its life contained. So fit your lungs on your thighs. Really tune back into the hum and the sound of your own heartbeat. And then just count yourself 3 more breaths here. In through the nose and out through the nose. Nice job, guys. When you're ready, unfold. I'm going to take you through this next part facing the camera just so that you can see the setup. So come to sit with your legs long on a blanket or a towel. And if you don't have that, that's totally fine. Don't worry too much. And then what you're going to do is bring your right heel into the inner groin. So set yourself up so that your butt's back behind you, remove any flesh from your sit bones, and then your right heel is in your inner groin. So good. And then what you're going to do is soft bend through your left knee, and then you have a cross with the arms. So your left hand is going to go to your right knee, and your right hand is going to go to the blade edge of your left foot. And the same way as you did all of your twists at the beginning of class, you want lots of contact, your left shoulder to left knee. Beautiful. And then from here, your body will probably guide you as to where to go. Eventually, you want to look underneath your right armpit so that you have the experience of going all the way around. And so really keep your 2 sit bones plugged down and in behind you. So you're not lifting your right sit bone up as you go all the way around. And you can just open and close the door a little bit and do that a few times. And then eventually you want to set it up so that then you can really have the experience of existing in this. And then you can move currency through it. So breathe into your right lung, the side your head is facing, and breathe 3 long breaths here. There's lots of space for your organs on the right to really make your liver available. Last one. So good. And then when you're ready, you can unfold it the same way that you came in. So you have a couple of options here. You can keep your right heel to the inner groin. All you can do is bring your right foot and have the arch. Find the fit of your left bicep, and then just give yourself a little rock or cradle from side to side. This always feels really nice to me. Sometimes it can feel a little sensational in the outer hip for some people. So if that's you, that's okay. Just bring your foot back down to your inner groin. And then what you can do is you can either bring that right foot back to the inner groin, or from here, you can rotate the foot up. So the sole of the foot rotates up towards the ceiling, and then you find your lotus variation. Beautiful. And if you're taking that option, just make sure that it's something that feels safe and that you can maintain the whole time. Nice. Then your left hand is going to catch a hold of the blade edge, the left side of the left foot, and then your right arm is going to go all the way around. It'll either come to your sacrum, it'll come to your inner thigh, or you might even catch a hold of that big toe of the right foot. And then once you have that, this is really your foundation work. This is your first floor work. And then from here, then you can start to mobilize, which is your second floor work, your ability. So bring your two shoulders north and south. And then third floor is really to take your vision up. So imagine there's a big arc above you and you draw a big semicircle over your head. Breathe into your right lung, 3 long breaths. Last one. And return your gaze back to center. So nice. If you need to readjust that at all, readjust that foot. And this time you're going to take your right hand across, hold on to the left foot, and then your left arm is going to go all the way around you. You can hold onto the inner thigh or your lower back. Find the spot that feels comfortable, but there's a little bit of effort involved. And then once you've found your foundations, then you can really go all the way around yourself. And this side should feel really beautiful. There's lots of space for your organs on your second floor. You can bring your two shoulders north and south. So right shoulder is north, left shoulder is south. And then find your vision, which is the third floor. It's very visionary and imaginative to go all the way above yourself. So nice. 2 more breaths here. Beautiful. Return your gaze back to center. And then from here, you can take that right foot, just give it a little rock from side to side again. So good, guys. So these twists are really about wringing out all of your residue. It's really about giving your organs a nice big squeeze. So just reorganize your seat and then we'll move over to the other side. And so I've been saying this in class a lot, when you do the other side, you really get to have the experience of noticing things you perhaps didn't see before. So bring your left heel to the inner groin, soft bend through your right knee, and then cross the arms over. Right hand to left knee, your right shoulder and right knee line up, and then you want to bring your left hand to your left foot. Beautiful. To your right foot, sorry. And then from here, you can just start to go all the way around yourself and just slowly make your way into this. You can close the door and open the door. You really want to use the leverage for your twist is the contact, right shoulder to right knee. And then once you've set it up, then you can go all the way around yourself. 3 breaths here. Set yourself up to see something else. Last breath. Beautiful. Unfold it. Return back to center. You can allow that right leg to go long. You can either keep that left heel in there, or you can bring left arch to the bicep, the right bicep, and just give yourself a little rock from side to side. So nice. So really allow the left hip to flush. And then from here, you can turn that left foot up to find your lotus variation, or you can bring that left heel down. Choice is yours. Keep that right foot nice and flexed. And then from here, right hand to right foot. And take your left arm all the way around. You can catch hold of the toes, the inner thigh, the lower back. Just find something that you can really leverage. And then once you have that foundation again, then you can start to find your mobility to go all the way around yourself. Your shoulders eventually will stack north and south, and you can take your vision all the way over. You want to breathe on the side that your head is facing, so your left lung and the heart is contained on this side, so you really need to breathe a little harder here. Last breath. Nice. Return your head back to center, and then take left hand to right foot, and then right arm goes all the way around on this side. You can sometimes, if you're feeling really available, you can catch a hold of your shin bone on the other side. Today's not the day for me, so be where you are. It might be lower back for you today, and that's also okay. It might be inner thigh, it might be shin, but really work with the option that is available to you today. And then once you have that, you can start to revolve, open all the way up towards the right. Really allow your liver to become available on the right-hand side. And find your vision above you. 2 more breaths here. Last one. So nice. Return your vision back to center. And then from here, you can unfold. You can pump your legs up and down. Sometimes it feels nice to give your hips a little sway from side to side. And then let's come to sit for pranayama. So this is a really short heating practice today. And even if you do just 4 quick breaths at the end, well, they should be long breaths at the end if that's all you're doing, but you really want to incorporate some breathing into your home practice, because breathing is a very intimate experience, and it's like your own weather system. It gives you a real idea of where things are at for you. So get your butt higher than your knees. So elevate your seat, and that's so that you can get lots of length in your spine. Roll your pubis forward, and then bring your right shoulder and collarbone to its own side, and left shoulder and collarbone to its own side. So good. Really make yourself available. And then bring your arms above your head, and make your hands into cups. So a big V for victory. And we're going to pump out 100 rounds of Kapalabhati. So Kapalabhati is just a short, sharp exhale through the nose, and the inhale is passive. If you're at home and you have high blood pressure or you're pregnant, then just stay with a regular breath here. So take a big deep breath, inhale, and then exhale out through the mouth, and then inhale to a comfortable level, 100 rounds. About halfway, so just keep pumping the breath out, 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 out. And really keep yourself accountable by measuring the breath to 100 exhales. So nice. When you keep shifting the breath out, out, really think of anything that is contained in you that no longer needs to be there anymore, shifting it out. The lungs know what to take in and know what to empty out, so shift it out, 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 out. So, so good. And you'll probably feel some heat rising. Sometimes we call this skull shining breath, because eventually the heat escapes out through the crown of your head. So nice. Let's do 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale, hook the thumbs overhead. Big deep breath in, 3 sips of air through the mouth. 3 more. Sniff through the nose. And then suck up from the base of the crown, really holding yourself pressurized, a little micro moment of life and knowing how to deal. Here and now. And then exhale, pop your cork, release your arms, bring them down onto your thighs. You can cup your hands and have them facing up. Just give yourself a minute to allow all of your internal debris to settle. And so sometimes in a very heating young practice, a lot of friction and frustration can bubble up, so just notice if that bubbled up for you today, and let it all dissolve and dissipate now in the silence and tranquility that is your own container. Now give your breath a boundary, so on your next in-breath, inhale for the count of 4. Hold for 4 counts. And then exhale for the count of 4. And hold yourself empty for 4 counts, so a 4-part breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Inhale for 4. Hold for 4. And then exhale for 4 and hold yourself empty for the same amount of counts. So a nice way to imagine the breath here is that it is a wild horse. And you're really giving that wild horse the boundary of a stable, a safe stable where it can feel contained and safe. And really this safe, contained environment is just for a brief moment. It's really so that eventually you can allow your horse, being a breath, to run free. Inhale for 4, hold yourself for 4 counts, and then exhale for 4 and hold yourself empty for 4 counts. And give yourself one more round of this 4-part breath. And once you get to the base, the bottom of your exhale, let the breath be wild again. Allow it to be free to run in all directions. Now that you've spent some time really getting up close and personal with your own physical body, your physicality, your breath, which is really your life force, and then your imagination and your mind, take stock of your own internal news system, your own weather system. Really give yourself the opportunity to read your own room. And then let all of that go. And just start to watch the mind. And watch with intentional curiosity. And really befriend your breath so that when the mind runs free, your breath is like an old friend that guides you back to the here and now. Breath, sensation, sound. And feel your breath deep down in your belly. And if you'd like to stay here, you can. Otherwise, feel free to take some time to lie down. Really honor what your mind and perhaps your body is asking for today. So take the time to perhaps sit for a little longer. Otherwise, if you're finishing up with me, enjoy your day. Thank you for practicing with me, and I'll see you soon.